what Sanjay Gama was, produced is very complicated. So they come up with an idea called, they generated a paper. Dr. and Kefarilla, they bring up a concept based on the GFS and MRF as nudge. The concept called nudge. They generated a paper called nudge. They combined both GFS and MRF and they made a concept called nudge. How this name nudge come from is like duck cutting wife's name is nudge. So he directly gives the name as nudge. Okay. So the important thing here you have to notice who is called the father of big data. Duck cutting is called the father of big data. So he is the one who invented big data. So he generated the concept as nudge, and when it comes to market, he introduced the concept as Hadoop. The technology is Hadoop. And how this name Hadoop comes is like duck cutting. Excuse me. Duck cutting's son was playing with a toy elephant, which is yellow in color. This small kid was, he used to call the small toy elephant as Hadoop, Hadoop, Hadoop. That's how he gave the name as Hadoop, the technology name as Hadoop. Okay? Till now, are you okay with the concepts?
Yeah.
Okay. So, big data. Now here is big data, the traditional methodology can follow only data which are structured. Structured data, can somebody give me an example of structured data? Very quick. Each one can give me one.
Our basic ERP system.
Sorry, come again?
Our ERP system.
ERP system, structured. What type of data you will get in ERP? Like,
I mean, all the transactional data in a structured form.
Like it will be in rows and columns, correct?
Yeah, a table, a structured table.
Yeah, sure. Okay, fine. So, who else is there? Srinivas, can you give me an example?
That's correct. The data which can be stored in a proper row and column, which can be retrieved.
I am asking the real-time example. Like ERP is a real-time example where you can see the data in rows and columns. Like any other real-time example, can you give me?
Real-time example.
Every day we are using so many. Sorry?
Bank's account information.
I couldn't get you.
Bank's account information. That can be structured, right?
Can I type over the window? I am not able to. Excel. Spreadsheet. Yeah, correct. Then Jyoti, can you give me an example?
Yeah, the bank details or the the details of an employee. All these are structured data.
So these are the things, structured data. So these information can be processed very easily. Even the bank details you can load it in an Excel sheet where you can make things like analysis and everything. Now, can you give me an example for unstructured data? Can somebody give me an example for unstructured data?
Like we have it on Facebook.
The text and
Email.
Correct. Facebook chat window, the smileys, these are called as unstructured data. So, there comes the big data. Big data plays a vital role. It can process both structured and unstructured data, whatever it is. Like, it might be of any format. For example, it might be an audio, it might be a video, it might be, smileys, it might be, in a different arranged format. We can process it. That's how big data comes to a real picture. Here, the concept what we are going to learn in big data is, it is going to store, it is going to process data. Okay. So now here is big data. Yeah. So the concept behind big data is 3B. If somebody is asking you why we are going for big data, you can tell them, see, we are getting every day huge amount of data. To store the data and to process this data, we have a technology called big data where you can process structured and unstructured data. So We have a concept called 3V, which is based on big data. You know what is 3V? Is volume, velocity, and variety of data. Volume of data means, you know, as I said before, 950 million of users are generating 9.5 GB of data per day. It is an approximate calculation. For example, consider today is my birthday. I used to get so much of wishes, right? So obviously the volume of data is going to, you know, increase. Normally the 9.5 can increase, you know, to something like 10.5, whatever it is. It can obviously increase. It is not a standard that we will follow only 9.5. But when you go for server concept, you know, a server can accommodate only 10 GB, only can accommodate 10 GB. But on big data concept, any volume of data, you know, you can process and you can store. That is the volume of data. The next one is velocity. Velocity in the sense it might be come at any speed. Within 1 hour you might get 9.5 GB of data. Sometimes you will get 9.5 GB of data after 3 hours. You know, within 3 hours. Sometimes you will get 100 GB of data within 1 hour. It is based on the speed, so it can accommodate that. The next concept is variety of data. Variety of data in the sense the data can be of any format. It might be a picture, it might be a video, it might be an audio, whatever it is. Big data can process it. Till now, are you okay with big data?
Anything.
Okay. The next thing is industries. Which are the common industries who are working in big data and normal data? Where the reason thing is, from medical industry we are getting huge amount of data. From banking sector we are getting huge amount of data. And automobile, like, you know, in vehicle we are having speedometers. From there we are getting huge amount of data. Telecom in the sense, you know, the SMS whatever you are getting in your mobile phones regarding marketing campaigns. It can be, you know, offers, whatever it is. It can be data. Facebook, Twitter, these are the common areas where we are getting data every day in huge amounts. Now comes the Hadoop. So the problem is big data and the solution is Hadoop. Hadoop is the technology where we are going to, you know, process and store and process the huge amount of data. So big data is a problem. The solution is Hadoop. Hadoop will be doing both, you know, storage and processing. So how the storage and processing happens? The first thing is Hadoop has two parts. Hadoop can be divided into two parts. One is HDFS, other part is MapReduce. HDFS stands for Hadoop Distributed File System and MapReduce is the other part. So HDFS is for storage and MapReduce is for processing. So once you get huge amount of data, it can be stored in HDFS and the processing had been done through MapReduce. Okay? Are you okay with this information?
Yeah, can you look at HDFS?
Come again?
HDFS. Can you please repeat?
HDFS is Hadoop Distributed File System.
Yeah.
So HDFS is meant for storage. You know, once you get a huge amount of data, nowadays we are storing directly to the server, right? So in big data concept, this information will be stored in HDFS, and that is Hadoop Distributed File System. Because in Hadoop technology, we are going to do parallel processing. So that's the thing we are going to save in HDFS. It is meant for storage. Yeah. Do you have any queries? Okay. The next one is how this is going to work. Now consider we have 10 TB of data. The 10 TB of data can be processed and will make into 10 GB or it might be 10 MB. It is based on the data type. We will compress it. 10 TB can be converted to 10 GB or 10 MB. It's based on the technology through which we are going to process the data. So this is all about, you know, the basic thing about big data. And HDFS have a master and slave. Again, MapReduce is having master